Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your reader, Stephanie, and today's reading is going to be a fun one. We're going to be looking at your romantic options. So this is for my singles or for those who are in open relationships. We're going to be looking at what are your available romantic options, what people have an eye on you, or who you could potentially date here that you may not be seeing. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, every single pile has had so many cards come out, like so many. So if you came here thinking there's no possible way I could have options, you do. You do, my dear, my lovely viewer. So regardless, let's go ahead and pick a pile for you. We have pile 1 with this orange calcite. Pile 2, we have a moon agate. And pile 3, we have this beautiful chunk of rose quartz. So take your time, open up that heart space, tap into your energy, take a few deep breaths, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose this beautiful orange calcite heart, then we have a reading here for you about your romantic options, who is potentially there for you to take on romantically, who may have an interest in you and who you are overlooking. So I have your selected here for you. One thing, pile 1, you're very distracted. You're very distracted, so I'm not even sure if you're looking or if you just clicked on this video for some fun tarot stuff, because I'm like that. I like to just click on something to see what comes through, because sometimes it's not even about the actual subject matter at hand. I feel like for some of you, you just really need some grounding, and sometimes listening to background either background noise, background music, or people talking can be very grounding for you. So I thank you for choosing this video if that's the case. But like I said, you're very distracted. I'm not sure if some of you actually have been diagnosed with like ADHD or ADD. I can't remember which one it is, but this distraction is very, the distraction itself is very distracting, because I'm trying to do this video, and before your pile, I just kept finding a reason to like move stuff around in my room or like just adjust little things here and there. So maybe a little bit of OCD as well. Take that only if it resonates, and of course it doesn't have to be that severe. You could just have this quirk about you. So I feel like the romantic options you have, you may not be noticing because you're trying to distract yourself with other things, or you may just be focusing on like everything else. I feel like love is not really at the forefront for you, but you might want to date just for fun or to have somebody interesting to hang out with, and that's okay. But regardless, we're going to look at the cards. These cards are going to be your options. I picked out 3 cards to look at 3 key people that could be in your life, and then 1 card for your energy, the energy you're going to be in whenever you meet these people. And of course, I feel like the energy I just called out could be part of this. In fact, I need to pause this for a moment because I need to switch something up. Yeah, pile 1, you're an interesting person. As soon as I started recording, like I said, I keep getting distracted because the sun is glaring so brightly. I had to put on, how do you say it? I had to lower the blinds so that it wouldn't blind me. Some of you might be like this. Like, you might have so many options, you may not be seeing them because it's a little blinding. It's like you need light, but when the light is shining right in your eyes, you can't see anything. Take that if it resonates, but let's get on with this. Like, my God. So we have Jade Emperor, organization. Yeah, I feel like either you're trying to call in somebody who's very organized, or there's somebody who's very organized out there who has taken a liking to you. And I feel like those energies are going to complement each other very well, especially if you yourself feel that you're very disorganized. We also have Garuda, travel. So some of you might enjoy traveling. I was getting big Sagittarius energy from this pile. You yourself might be a Sagittarius, or you could just do something that involves a lot of traveling, or you could travel for fun. The person you're calling in is somebody you could meet on your travels, or somebody that is easy to travel with. And the last option, Hades, death. So this is giving me major Scorpio vibes. Somebody who is very serious, really good with their finances. They might have their own business, but they definitely like to work for themselves, because I'm thinking of the death card, which is giving me Scorpio, and I always tend to lump all those together with Hades. So this would be somebody who grounds you. All 3 of these, well, maybe not all 3, but definitely 2 of these people are very grounding energies, and I feel like you'll know who they are because when you're around them, you feel like you can focus. The middle one, though, the Garuda person, your travel companion, can be a little bit of both. I feel like they can be grounding when they need to be, but regardless, it's all very masculine energy. So regardless of what you identify as, and regardless of what you're into, these are all very masculine energies coming through. I mean, I know I used the Gods and Titans deck, so it's going to be a very masculine based deck, but not all the cards are masculine, if that makes any sense. So the fact that these three came out, there's definitely a feeling here that you're looking for somebody who, one, communicates really well, because I feel like you're somebody who needs mental stimulation, or at least something interesting enough to get your attention, because I can tell that you're not somebody who likes to sit around and just listen to anything. You have to listen to something that really stimulates your mind or your spirit. I'm going to go ahead and clarify these with the Magic of Marvel deck. So for the Jade Emperor, we have America Chavez. The best way is your way. Yeah, I feel like you're calling in people who kind of own their own businesses or do things their own way, because all three of these gave me that similar feeling. So you either run your own business as well, and you're probably surrounded by people like this, or you could just have a type, and this might be that type, regardless of what you're actually into. For the Garuda, we have Mystique. What you see is never what you get. I was getting that from Garuda, where like they might not always be there. I feel like they're a little flaky, or they're the kind of people you only get along with when you're around them, but you're not always around them. And then the last person, our Hades person, we have Wiccan. Self-control, never heard of it. I'm not surprised, because if they do have like major Scorpio placements, Scorpios can be very self-indulgent. I would also place this with Taurus, and I'm saying this as a Taurus myself. They might have a bad habit or something where they like to overindulge, because the self-control here lets me know that there's something that they like to really spend a lot of energy, mind. They like to spend a lot of time thinking about it. Like maybe their mind is always on the money, or their mind is always on something or the other. It could be physical intimacy. They might be an addict, or they might have like a kink or something here. But this person, they got their mind on their money, and their money on their mind, or however that is said. This person is very interesting. The most grounded out of all three. I feel like this one will definitely take up most of your attention. So you'll be very naturally drawn to the Hades character here. Again, when I see death here, I see the transformation card in tarot. So should you decide to go with this one, because I feel like you're just going to be pulled to this one, regardless of how deep it gets. There's going to be a feeling here that they're going to transform you. They're going to change the way you see things, for better or worse. This is going to be the energy you're in, and we got the now. Yeah, like I said, you're very distracted. So the now could be something you either try to really live in, or something you have difficulty being in. It all depends on the situation and where you are. That's number 47, if that's of any resonance to you. But I'm also going to get a card from the Audacity deck to see exactly what it is that they want, because we already got a good view of their character, or at least most of these people's character. But the Audacity deck is going to let me know exactly what it is that they want with you, or what their intentions are with you. I'm already going to tell you though, if you were to ask me personally as a friend, I feel like the Jade Emperor, whoever this person is probably your best bet, because they're very organized, they're very grounded, and they kind of do things their own way. And I feel like you can definitely admire that and respect that. But the energy that I'm getting from this particular character is also very respectful to you. Garuda, like I said, they may not always be there. They're easy to travel with. They're fun to have a good time with. And by travel, it doesn't even have to be like actual international worldwide travel. It could just be somebody you like to have fun with and do stuff with. Like maybe you go out to a lot of places, or you go here and there, and in between all of that you have, you know, the fun you like to have. But they're not always what they seem. This person will definitely have a roster, or they will have other options open. So they may not always be honest with you, and that's up to you whether you're okay with that or not, because I feel like you yourself may not want something serious either, or at the very least, when you approach this person, you won't be looking for that. And this Hades character, again, they're also stable. They also got their own stuff going on, but there is something that is a little bit too time consuming or takes up too much of their energy, and depending on what that is, you may or may not like it. But let's go ahead and get the Audacity cards for these three people. Like I said, very masculine energy, but I'm not gendering anybody, just in case these energies come off differently. And I do welcome any kind of sexual orientation onto this channel. So for the Jade Emperor, the Jade Emperor is going to be hard to figure out. But honestly, I think it's because they're going to have a good look at you. One is what I'm hearing. And two, they're really going to take their time trying to figure you out as well. The Jade Emperor is somebody who's very organized, and because of that, because of what they got going on, they don't just let anybody into their life. So they're going to judge you a little bit just to see if you'd be a good fit, because they're also looking for somebody long term. They're looking for commitment. They don't mind taking care of you, but they want to see if you're going to be worth it. Okay, so you got 2 cards with them. We have the Coffee and the Mother. Yeah, like I said, they're looking for somebody long term. So with the Mother energy, they could be looking for somebody to be a parent to their children. They could want a family, but they might also be looking for somebody who's very emotionally nurturing to them. But I feel like they also give this back. So don't think it's going to be a one-sided thing. It's definitely going to be one where it's mutually reciprocated. The mothering, nurturing affection that you give to this person. This is very serious commitment energy. So depending on where you are, you may or may not want this, but this person really looks out for you. With the Coffee, stimulation, but I'm also getting like being able to go out on coffee dates. This person's going to be a lot more traditional. Again, if they run their own business, they may run themselves on coffee. So something about here, they're looking for somebody stable, somebody who's able to give them the potential of a future. So that'll be up to you on where you are. We are going to look into the tarot for that to see where you're going to be going with some of these. But this is what they're looking for. Coffee also makes me think that you both could bond through coffee. Like there's this, because I see coffee, it's weird because it smells grounding, but the drink itself is not very grounding, at least to me. I'm overstimulated by caffeine. Maybe you're the same way, Pile 1, because I am getting very antsy energy from you. All right, let's look at Mr. Garuda here with travel. All right, what do they want? We got the breast pump. What I get from this card, and I'm saying this as somebody who's never really used a breast pump, but the way I see them, they can be a little draining, or you may give a little bit more of yourself to this person than you're willing to. Because I feel like there's still a nurturing aspect here. I feel like you may have similar backgrounds or similar upbringings, something similar here that you're bonded to this person by. But like I said, they're not always what they seem. They might slowly drain you and you may not even realize this, whether that's your energy, finances, time, whatever it is, your sleep even. I feel like this person might take more from you than you're willing to give, and I don't think they're going to give enough back. Or you're not going to expect them to give you anything back, but you really have to question why. Because I get a sense that, again, they're not all they seem. What you see is never what you get. And then with the Hades character, this one, they're not always going to have their mind on you, that's for sure, but you're going to have a good time with them. This card comes out a lot in my deck. I call it the booty card because her butt is shown there. I'm going to have to cover that. So they definitely like your body. They like something that they see here. But perseverance, this one has the potential to also be long-term, but there's going to be a lot in the way. There's going to be, well, not in the way, but along the way, you're going to learn a lot. I feel like it has the possibility to be long-lasting, but it's also going to be very transformative. And depending on what it is that distracts them, I guess we'll look into the tarot for that, because I really want to make sure that you're getting yourself into something you can agree to here. This person you can go the distance with, but it's going to be a little bit of a... I'm hearing it's going to be a little unbalanced at first, and it could be a little unconventional. But some of you may be looking for that. Some of you may be okay with that. This person will also respect you. But like I said, you're not going to be... If they do have a priority list, you're not going to be like the number one thing. You might be top 3, top 5, depending on what's going on. This person gives me the energy of somebody very... Well, 2 of these people are very young, or... at least in their mind, they think very young, if that makes any sense. This person, if they're not a little bit older, they could just have that mentality. Again, this person would be very stable, the Jade Emperor, whoever they are. But these 2 people, one of them looks like they're playing games, but they're really not. They just got their own thing going on, and the other one is definitely playing games. So, yeah. But you, Pile 1, you're focused on the now and what's going on. So let's move on to the tarot. Or at least that'll be the energy you're in when you're ready to select a person, or you could be balancing all of them at the same time if you're into dating multiple options, which wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, you require stimulation, so it doesn't surprise me that you would want multiple people just to see what's going on. But let's go ahead and look at the tarot. This is the Pulp Girls Tarot, and I'm going to select one card for each one. I'm going to see you and them. All right, let's start with the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor is going to have a very particular cologne. Like I said, the scents were coming out, like I was smelling coffee because the coffee card came out, but also something woodsy or pine, something very grounding. I'm not sure if they do this on purpose because they themselves just like to be a grounding energy, or if that scent just comes out whenever you're around them because you need to be grounded. And this person does this for you, but let's get a card for them. Yeah, Knight of Wands. This person will come into your life rather quickly. They're going to be very upfront about what it is that they want with you. This could come off as somebody wanting to admit that they want commitment rather quickly in a relationship, which is why I'm getting the sense that they're a little bit older, because when you get a little older, you're a lot more honest about what it is that you want. You're done playing games. So this, let's see where you are when they come through with this. King of Cups. You're actually very nurtured by this. I feel like you respond very positively to this. They make you feel very comfortable. They make you feel very, what's the word? Not vulnerable, but you can be emotionally vulnerable with this person. Like I said, there's a sense here that they are very nurturing and are looking for somebody nurturing. Let's look at your middle person, the Garuda character. So what do they want? What's going to be their energy? What's going to be how you respond to that energy? The Hanged Man, the Hanged One. You do have the possibility to turn this person around, or this may be what they give off. I really feel like some of them may want to stop looking around and they might be ready to give commitment a shot here. You might be catching them in one of their bigger transformations in life. Or at the very least, that's, again, what they're going to be talking about. That's how they're going to come off. And you... 10 of Pentacles. Like I said, something about money here. I feel like you're a lot more financially stable than they are. So do watch out for that. They could just drain your finances. But I'm also seeing that you could come into a lot of money when you hang out with this person. Especially if you have like your own business, or if you just happen to make a lot of money in like I'm seeing somebody who bartends, or somebody who's a waiter or waitress. Like they just have nights where they make good money, and this is when they may show up, or this is when they may hit you up. There's something here where they're very attuned to your energy. There's definitely a psychic connection here, because the Hanged One is Pisces energy. So they could have a lot of Pisces placements, and that's how this is going to come across. But I'm still not getting a sense of anything else. You're going to see a transformation in them, but I'm not sure if commitment is there. It's definitely there on your part, pile one, but as far as them, we're not sure yet, because this could also be looking as surrender. If they do surrender to you, I'm being told we're not there yet, but there is a chance. You see the possibility for this. But let's move on to the Hades character, which is very interesting. Part of the reason the Hades character could be not fully paying their attention to you, they could already be a parent, so they might have children that take up more of their time. A child or children, depending on what the situation is. They could also have just, like I said, their own business, but there's something that takes up their time and you're not going to be their priority. Again, if you're not at the top of their priority list, it's for good reason. It could be their business, it could be their children, it could be their health in some cases. But let's go ahead and get a card for them. Ace of Wands. I was wondering, if you know how to read this in an 18+ way, essentially they're very physically interested in you. And I feel like that's how they're going to be very honest about it too, or at the very least it's going to be obvious. Like even if they don't say it, this is going to be something that they let you know. And you are very defensive about this. You might be tired of this after a while. You're going to be in a very defensive energy, either at the beginning or after you have had like some time with them. I am going to get clarifiers with another deck for all of these. But essentially, this third person is more likely what you're going to be drawn to. They just have a magnetism about them, and they're good at coming off very, very professional, very serious, very no nonsense. And they might actually be that way, but there's something going on within their life that's going to affect you, and they're not going to be able to give you everything you want, except maybe that one thing you're looking for. And maybe that's all you've been looking for, and that's okay. The fact that I'm being so drawn to this particular Hades character lets me know that that's probably going to be the option you end up going for. Not that that's what you wanted, but there's a magnetism there. There's definitely chemistry there. Honestly, there's chemistry between you and at least these two. This other one, I'm not sure. I feel like they make you feel okay. And they're very much interested, but the chemistry is not as apparent. It's not as in your face as these other two. And I feel like you naturally are very drawn to that, especially if you're in an energy where you're not really looking for something serious. These two are probably the more likely options you'll end up going for. This person might take some time, because again, they're going to take their time too. But let me go ahead and get, let me just get a card to clarify the options here with the Mini Empyrean. 5 of Wands. Huh. Interesting. Let's get a card for the next one. We have the 6 of Globes. A give and take. You're going to really have to balance this one out. Should you go with this one, you're going to have to learn how to balance it out. It's going to be the biggest thing that you concern yourself with. And then the last one. 7 of Globes. You might know this person through work. There's something here about work and about your finances. They could help you with your business. They could help you with something. They're definitely going to help you refine your work or refine the way you go about doing things. So I feel like this third person you might already have a connection with, because you may work with them, you may network with them, you might already be in constant contact with them. So that would explain, they're the closest to you is what I'm hearing. But something about work is coming through here. It could be a really great business partnership, but anything more than that, I don't think so. Or at the very least, not now. With this person, I held off because the 5 of Wands could be several things. I always take this as the banter card. You and this Jade Emperor might have a moment where you have a lot of good witty banter, or like you like to take digs at each other. There has to be something here that sparks the connection. That's what the 5 of Wands is giving me, but I'm not sure if it's there yet. It'll probably come from them. It'll be very unexpected, or I feel like timing is at play here as well, because the 5 of Wands can be action for the sake of action's sake. There's definitely something here about this person that you haven't seen yet. There's a side to them that's actually going to resonate with you. It's going to feel very comforting. It's going to feel like, yeah, this makes sense, but you haven't seen it yet. And it's going to take like an argument or some kind of disagreement. It's going to take something conflicting for you to see it, if that makes sense. This is giving me that energy of like, and I've seen this meme a lot on like TikTok and stuff, where like guys get happy whenever their girls start nagging them because that means they care. It's that kind of energy. This person may start nagging you, or you may start nagging them, but you're both gonna like it. It's gonna be like, oh my gosh, do we care this much? It's something like that, or something akin to that. Or maybe you argue and you thought this person couldn't argue back, and they do, and it's like, oh, okay. Like they definitely show you some aspect of themselves that lets you know that, okay, it could work out with this person. It's this middle one. This middle one you may end up being friends with, because honestly, these cards can be very positive. You leave a very positive impact on this person, but something about boundaries and something about not letting them drain your resources is coming through. So again, take these as they resonate. I feel like if you already know this third person, boundaries is also at play. I feel like you may have a hard time shaking them off, especially if you do network, or if you work with them, or especially if they're your boss in some way, shape, or form. This person is pivotal within your career or within your advancement in life, but as far as trying out a romantic option, a romantic relationship with them, I'm not sure, because the 9 of Wands is you having to be on the defense the entire time. It's you having to really fight for their energy, for their time, for whatever it is that they need. If the kids thing was resonating, you could have to include them in a lot of your life, and some of you may not be ready for that, because I feel like this person could also be very serious. But yeah, lots of fire energy, except from this one person. This person could be a friend, honestly. I feel like they're a friend that you might want to make into something more, but take that only if it resonates. Let's go ahead and go on to your advice cards to see, maybe to help you choose. Though I'm not really here to choose an option for you. I'm more here to let you see what it is that you have that you don't realize you have. So I'm going to get a card from the Wisdom of Hafez. We have engaged trust, number 1. I feel like trust is something that you have to work on. I'm hearing more self-trust than anything. So if there's any hesitation for you wanting to get into a relationship, it's because you don't trust either how you're going to be, how you're going to react, or what you can bring to a relationship. So definitely allow yourself to find the self-trust. You do this by tapping into the heart, by tapping into self-love, but also acknowledging where it is that you may give too much of yourself or not enough, or where you may be too guarded, depending on where you are. Because I feel like it's an imbalance on both of those ends. And then from the self-care oracle, I'm being told these 3 cards. So we have health checkup. Something here about your health, whether it's mental or physical, will be up to you, but definitely book all your appointments, make sure you're getting seen, make sure you're talking to a professional. This is just advice. This is not meant to replace professional help. I'm not surprised this came through. I'm wondering if I have to censor it. But essentially, pleasure. Yeah, I feel like some of you are in your man-eater phase, or your, I don't want to say hoe phase, but I'm not judging here. I feel like some of you just want to date around, and that's okay. If that's all you want, then enjoy it. I mean, you're meant to, you're allowed to. Just be safe. Maybe this is why health checkup is here. Make sure you're practicing or doing what you do very safely. And 53, use your hands. Some of you are very manually gifted. Is that how you say it? You're gifted with your hands. So I'm not sure if you have a job where you use your hands, but I can also you can also take this to 18+ way. I feel like this is a very particular message trying to come across, but I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. So if you can read between the lines, by all means, pile 1, read between the lines, but also just take care of your hands. Make sure you're enjoying yourself. Enjoy the moments you have with these people. Doesn't matter where you end up going with them or if you end up having anything with them. And be safe. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Go see your doctors if you need to. But yeah, some of you have very magical hands, and that could be something that keeps bringing them back for more. But this is where I leave you, pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If any of this resonated, let me know. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you chose this lovely moon-shaped agate, then we have a reading here for you about your romantic options and who you may or may not be seeing, who may come through, who you may have to choose between as well, and what they want with you. So I'm going to go ahead and start with your options. I got 3 cards from the Gods and Titans deck, and that's going to have us look at who these people are. It doesn't matter whether they are male or female. This is just going to be the energies that they present. And we have 1 card here to represent what you are going to be, what energy you're going to be in when you meet these people. So let's go ahead and get the cards. We have Set, Chaos. This person's going to be a party animal. They might thrive in chaos, or they may just enjoy having to do a lot. There is something here about them being very energetic. They have a lot of energy. So they may hit the gym a lot. They may just enjoy always having to do stuff. They may listen to music very, very loud. So whether you enjoy that or not, it's going to be up to you. Second person, Achilles, confidence. You really like the guys at the gym or the girls at the gym. These people are all very athletic, because this person in particular is very confident, but it's a confidence that they've had to build up very slowly. They were not always in this energy. I feel like as a kid, they may have had either some sort of like a health issue, or maybe they were just that, you know, awkward kid growing up. So they really focused on their physical appearance and their strength to get them through something. They could practice mindfulness, but not as deeply as you think. So they may meditate, but it's not going to be as profound as like the kind of stuff you would see from like tarot readers. So this person, they have their insecurities, but they present very confident, but they have their insecurities. The last person we have is Luch. Or Luch, I forget how you pronounce his name. This card was very interesting because when I was shuffling these cards, this one literally popped up and like face open on my lap, and I was like, okay. So I feel like this person is very much already in your life. You know who this person is. They're very smart. They're very skilled. They likely have a really good stable job. They're rather organized, and yeah, something about them just being very smart is coming through. This person you might work with, or they may be a colleague. So I feel like this person is like ready for you, whoever they are. So I feel like out of all the options, this is the one you're most aware of. These two maybe not so much, or if you are, you might be questioning their intentions. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Magic of Marvel deck to clarify more about their energies. By the way, I keep getting stumbled with my words. I'm not sure if this is you or if this is how you make your people come off. Like, you may make them nervous, pile 2. Like, I don't know what it is about you, you make them nervous. Except for this Luke character. I feel like this one is always up for the challenge or kind of likes that about you. Like, if you do make people nervous or if you do have an intimidating presence, this person likes it. Yeah, they like it because they don't just fall for anybody. They don't just, consider anybody. Let's go ahead and clarify set chaos. We have Spider-Man, places to be, webs to shoot. Yeah, this one gives me a little bit of Playboy, Playgirl energy. So you may not be their only option, but they definitely like it whenever you're around. Second person, Achilles, Moon Knight. It's never too late for a second chance. Like I said, they have something from their past keeps them in a very particular energy. I feel like they've had to go through a lot emotionally in order to be where they are now. So they may appear very confident, but know that they were not always that way. It's very humbling energy, especially once you get to know them, if you don't already. This person is very sincere as well, even though, again, they come off as very confident, maybe even a little cocky, but that's not how they've always been. They've had to really work to get there. So know that they're not full of themselves. They really had to earn that. And then for the Luke character, we have Wolverine. When I'm alone, I'm in great company. Like I said, this person doesn't open up to everybody. So the fact that you've opened up to them lets me know that, that they've opened up to you, lets me know that they don't consider a lot of people to date, and you're one of them. Honestly, they think you're something special, and it makes their day when you're around or when you talk to them, whoever this person is. The energy you're going to be in when you are ready to date or ready to approach anybody. Sacred Mirrors, number 33. Some of you could be a life path 33, just like myself. That's a healer number, a master number. It's number 6 tend to, in general, care about relationships, their family, the people closest to them. They care about their own, they care about their love, and relationships could be quite important. So I'm not surprised that you have these options. But also with Sacred Mirrors, you might be doing a lot of self-reflection. You could also be seeing a bit of yourself in each one of these characters and each one of these options that you have. I feel like that's kind of been the case for you your whole life, pile too. You may have always found pieces of yourself within people, and it's part of the reason you're able to really to get along with them or to approach them. And particularly the most, I think, is Achilles. I feel like you yourself also had a background where you really had to work for the confidence that you have right now. So I feel like this one you vibe with the most. You probably have the most fun with this one. The other two, their energies are so different. And honestly, they may have come off as a bit polarizing when you first met them. Because the set character in general, this is somebody you like to flirt with. This is somebody that... if the word chaotic definitely comes to mind, I feel like you and this person have very chaotic energy with each other, but you like it, enjoy it, and it's very fun. This is definitely somebody you would have like friends with benefits or like a no strings attached kind of connection with. If you're thinking there's going to be anything more, so far I'm not seeing anything yet. With places to be, webs to shoot, they might be very busy or they might have other stuff to do. I feel like you're not at the forefront. They're definitely not looking for commitment, pile too. So I'm letting you know this person, not if you want commitment, it's not them. But with Achilles person, also I feel like this person is the one who stutters the most. They might have trouble communicating. So with the Achilles person, they're very interesting. I feel like you enjoy talking with them, especially once you get to know them, once you get to know about their background, once you share information with. I feel like you are both very emotionally vulnerable with each other. With It's Never Too Late for a Second Chance, there is a possibility that you and this person may have tried to do something in the past. Like, this is something that never got off the ground, so I don't think it's an ex coming through, unless that ex was from so long ago that they're no longer the same person, in which case that might be the case. But I'm really feeling that this is somebody that you might give a second chance because you never really gave them a chance, if that makes any sense. Especially once you get to realize why they came off so confident or why they were the way they were. This is giving me, it's like those people who had a very dramatic glow up within like a short amount of time. It's that kind of energy. Like they're not always that way, or they may come off a certain way because on the inside they're actually very emotionally scarred, or they might just have insecurities. And these insecurities could be with them for a while. But this person, I feel, is a really good contender. You and this person would vibe really well. And then this Luke character. Very interesting. Very interesting. Like I said, I feel like out of all the three, this one will be the most direct about what they want with you. That's just part of how they are. Part of the reason they're so smart is because they know how to approach things, they know how to say the right things, they know how to communicate effectively. Honestly, this one's kind of the reason Wolverine came out for this one is because this person's the most deadly. I mean, Moon Knight is too, but Moon Knight, if you've seen the show or if you're just familiar with Moon Knight, he's got, I forget what it's called, but he's got multiple personalities living within one body. I'm not saying this is how this person is. I'm saying that this person has many sides to them that you won't always get to see at once. Not saying it's anything mental there, not saying it's anything clinically diagnosed. It's more like they don't show all of themselves to everybody. They might have a reputation to uphold. They might have a mask they have to wear for certain situations, depending on what that is. So you slowly get to know different sides of them. As to where this person is very upfront. They're the deadliest one because they're honest. And honesty can be quite, it can be triggering sometimes, can't it? I mean, and I'm not saying they're going out of their way to trigger you. It's more like, this is what I want. I think you're cool. But also, because this person knows exactly what they're doing, they're deadly. Like, it's giving from the Myers-Briggs types. I typically don't bring this up, but it's giving me INFJ, where they're, sorry, INTJ. TJ, not FJ. FJs are sweet souls. The TJs is the ones you gotta watch out for because they're thinking and judgmental and intuitive. And you combine those three things and it can be quite deadly. Which is why I think they're very much a loner. They may not have many friends or they may not have many people that they trust in. They might spend most of their time by themselves. And again, they're okay with that. That's why it's so... That's why it's such a big deal that they care about somebody else or that they're able to approach somebody. I feel like this person is okay being single for the rest of their life. So the fact that they've come across somebody that they find potential, that they have potential with in a romantic way, it's a big deal to them. But like I said, they're going to be very honest. They're also very smart, very mentally stimulating. If you're looking for that, I feel like this person could be great. But know that this attraction will also be very intense. This person definitely likes you, and I think you know that. I think they've already told you that. I feel like they may have told you that like within the moments that you met them or like within the first few days of you knowing them. Because they made up their mind really quick because they have really good judgment, believe it or not. Great judgment. But they're a little bit deadly because they're okay being alone. They could be ruthless if they need to be. If they need to cut you off, they'll cut you off. So I feel like both of these are actually really great potential people for you. This one, honestly, you're just having fun with them. Let them go. But we are going to look into the Audacity deck to see it is exactly what they want with you. Even though I'm getting a lot from these people already. Also, again, very masculine energy. And I know this is a Gods and Titans deck, so it's obviously going to be very masculine. But the fact that you also had very masculine Marvel characters, this deck in particular is good at balancing out feminine and masculine energies within Marvel. So, Marvel characters. So, all of them are in their masculine energy. With the exception of maybe this one, I feel like they can go either way. Especially because they're in that playboy, playgirl energy. Whenever somebody is in that energy, know that it is more... Believe it or not, it's more feminine. People like to think it's not, but I've always read that energy as being very feminine energy because they're not making up their mind. They're looking at their options. And unfortunately, I've always read looking at options as a feminine thing. It's like, it's part of the reason women are known for shopping because they like to, you know, shop for a bargain. So take that only if it resonates. You don't have to agree with that. That's just how I see it. That's just my personal opinion. But regardless, let's see what these characters want with you. So, the set character. We have the High Priestess. I'm taking this a little literally. They like your intuition. You might have a little bit of a psychic link with them. But I'm also taking this to mean, it's particularly the high aspect. You might just like to have fun with them. You might do substances with them. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If not, then they make you feel this way. I don't know if you've ever been around people that just get you in your head a lot or make you feel very ungrounded. It's that kind of energy. Which makes sense because they're chaotic. All right, the Achilles person. My little Moon Knight. Whoever this person is, it's easy to like fall in love with them, especially once you get to know them. Because on the outside, they seem a certain way, but once you get to know them, your heart just melts. All right, so the Achilles person. You got two cards. We have the Audacity. The Audacity. I'm going to look into this one. This is from the Audacity deck. So, I feel like this is when you first met them, this is how they came off. It's like, this person has the audacity. And then strength, like I said, they've had to overcome something. And they don't tell this to anybody. You may have picked up on this, especially if you yourself resonate with having to overcome like inner shadows or inner demons here. And then for the Luke character, let's go ahead and get a card for what they want with you. We have death. Let me censor this. This is transformation. This is, of course, giving the death card from the tarot where it's Scorpio energy. I'm not surprised. They were giving, like I said, very intense energy from the Luke character. So if you end up being with them, know that it's going to be very transformative. That's what this means. Death in general makes me think it's going to be the death of an old you and the birth of a new you. You're not going to be able to see things the same way because this person is going to change the way you think. They might put you through school is what I'm hearing. They might like pay for certain courses or classes for you to take to get you to a better place. This person has a plan. I'm not gonna lie, they're a little bit controlling. So you're gonna have to be okay with that. As long as that plan aligns with what you want, this is okay. I feel like it can work out. But I'm hearing that they have a certain plan for you because they don't want you to stay the same way. Like I said, this person could be, you could work with this person, or they could be like somebody higher up. So they might like guide you through something. They're going to teach you certain things, especially with skill. They might want you to have the same skills they have, or they may want to show you certain skills. But this person is very interesting, very intense, but honestly, a little bit of a cool character if you're okay with this energy. Let me go ahead and get the audacity meaning here. But I am hearing that when you first met this person, you were like, where did they find the audacity to approach me that way? Mostly because they came off as too confident and too cocky, and you were just like, okay, whatever. But then you got to know them and it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But this person makes me laugh a lot. I feel like you're gonna have the most fun with this. This one a little bit too much. It's like that person, again, that you like to drink with, that you like to party with, but they were never anything serious. But they're there in case you want to have a good time. With the audacity, the skeleton rose into the serene, rainbow-filled sky, announcing his presence. Your bright, sunshiny day has been suddenly and unabashedly disturbed by the ultimate storm cloud. Your message, just when you thought it was safe to smell the roses, the utter audacity of someone or something is coming to rain on your parade. This is the ultimate wake-up call card, the card to end all cards. Give the boot to cheaters, users, couch surfers, energy vampires, fair weather friends, toxic bosses, and last week's rotten produce that has the audacity to mold. This is how they came off when you first met them. You thought they were bad news, and then you got to know them and realize, okay, they're a good person, they're an okay person. Whether this is meant to be long-term or not, I'm not sure, but I feel like you definitely change your mind about this particular person. Because you end up seeing through them, you end up seeing a side of them that makes more sense to you, and you realize that the front they were putting up was just that. It was a front that they had to put up, either for professional reasons, for socialization reasons. This might just be the defense mechanism they have in order to approach people, because within them, inside them, is somebody much more insecure than they're willing to admit themselves. Yeah, all very interesting characters. Honestly, these two more than this one. This one, you know who it is. You just party with them. They're there for a good time. But these two other ones, this one is going to take some time to get to know. And this one is intense. But I feel like whether you're into that intensity or not, it's going to be up to you. Regardless, they all mirror something about you back to yourself pile too. But let's move on to the tarot to get a better view. And I'm doing the tarot in a 3-card spread. I'm going to keep it the same way to look at each one of your options. I'm using the Pulp Girls Tarot deck. All right, let's start with Chaos over here. The top card is going to be them, bottom card is going to be you. These are the energies you bring to this. So we got Ace of Pentacles. They saw you as somebody with promise. Honestly, they saw you as somebody that they could start something with. So they might be trying to play the long game here, believe it or not. And it's going to come when you least expect it. They might pop in and out of your life a lot. Let's see where you are with them, though. The Tower. You're going to put an end to this. You're going to be like, hey, Either we take this seriously or we don't. You're going to give them a tower moment. You're going to give them an ultimatum. And good on you, pile 2. I feel like you had to, because this person was just thinking they could have all the fun with you, but not actually do anything about it. But the odd thing is, I feel like they're either going to get serious because you gave them this ultimatum, or they already had that plan to begin with. I would watch out for this person. They're going to try to come back a few times, regardless of where it goes. For the Achilles character, Page of Pentacles, they also feel like they can start something with you. Honestly, pile 2, you hold a lot of potential for a lot of people. And people want to take it very slowly with you. All right, and the energy you're bringing to them. The Moon. There's something mysterious about them. You have a hard time reading this person, again, because they just put up so many masks. They put up so many... what's the word? So many barriers to get to know them. And once you do get to know them, you realize that they're very sweet. You might dream about them as well with the Moon here. And then for that third character, the Luke character. 6 of Wands. Honestly, this may start off as you two having fun. I feel like you will date. Like, you might actually take them up on their offer. There's a lot of flirtation. There's a lot of fun here. If you want to take this as a very suggestive symbol with this with this rod and this wreath, you can. I feel like, honestly, you might end up sleeping on the first date, should you decide to go on a date. Because this person's very intense. They go for what they want and they always get it. But it's going to be up to you whether you give it to them or not. And let's see where you are within this relationship. This is so fun. Like, I love these options for you. Oh, wow. You guys are already very compatible. I will say that. So should you decide anything with this other person, you are going to end up in a relationship with them, because it's going to be very natural for you to do so. It's going to feel very comfortable. It's going to feel familiar. But again, you have to be ready for this, because it's very intense. Things might progress a little quickly, but it's going to end up having you leave everybody else in the dust. Honestly, pile 2, you're in a very transformative era in your life when you approach these options, because you have nothing but major arcana cards, and they're very interesting cards as well. Lots of pentacles, but it's going to be the one with the most fire that you end up going for, and it's going to be this Luke character that you already know, that is already very upfront with you. I feel like the fact that they're very upfront with you is what you really fell for, because there's nobody here playing games. There's nobody here wearing a mask. There's nobody here with any ulterior motives, because this is what these two other characters have. Unfortunately, when I see pentacles in an ace or a page position, this is somebody, you know, trying to figure you out, trying to see what they can get from you. And this person is just giving you upfront the fun that you want. And I feel like you like that. You enjoy that. In fact, these are both 6 cards. So you're already very compatible. You both might be life path 6 as well, because that was coming through in the oracles with number 33. So I feel like you're most compatible with this intense energy here, even if it is a little intense. I'm going to go ahead and clarify these energies with the mini Empyrean. And it's funny because in the last deck, I wasn't really trying to make up a mind for anybody, but here I feel like it's very obvious who your options are and what you've got to do with them. You might already know this. So whoever this third person is, you already know they're approaching you. You already know they're there. And it's all up to you whether you're going to take them up on that offer, because you still have free will after all. But let's go ahead and clarify these with the mini Empyrean. We're clarifying the relationship in general, as well as something that might come through in the future. So, okay, wow. I got 2 cards, but this one was from the top and one was from the bottom. This person's sneaky. Whoever this set chaotic person is, I feel like the chaos is just a front they put, or it's just part of how they operate, but they're sneaky. Again, watch out. Let's start with the card that came out on top, 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands. You're going to hold them accountable, like I said. But they're going to like that. Or it's going to keep them coming back for more. It's just like this person that once they see that you get serious with somebody, it makes them want you. And it makes them want to get you. It makes them want to win you over. Which is so stupid, because I'm sure this person had plenty of chances with you at some point, but they never took advantage of that. So it's like they had to wait until somebody else, somebody serious, somebody who wanted commitment and was actually willing to give you love in order for them to come back. And what do they have to offer? The High Sage, again, you and this person have a very intuitive connection, because you had the High Priestess and now you have the High Priestess again. Yeah, here she is. So I was taking it literally within the Audacity deck because that's how this deck allows me to take it. But because the High Sage is here, you and this person are you're very intuitively connected. You might be able to communicate without having to say anything. And I feel like that's part of the reason you kind of kept each other around. You both enjoyed that spiritual connection you have. It is very possible for you and this person to have a spiritual connection. Even though it's nothing serious, even though it might just be friends with benefits, or it might just be, you know, nothing. The spiritual connection keeps them coming back for more because that's not something they can get from anybody else. I've read this energy before in past readings. So if you've come from that particular pile in that particular reading, I feel like this is really going to resonate with you. This person cannot put their mind or words on it, but they have a spiritual connection with you, whether they're aware of it or not. And they like that. They really like that about you. They can't find it with anybody else, but that's tough for them because they had their chance. I feel like you've given them this chance. You've had to put the brakes on this. You've had to hold them accountable for their energy. You had to put the ultimatum here. You've tried with this person and they couldn't get their ish together. So again, watch out for this person. They're going to try and come back. I feel like it's easy for them to come back again because of this psychic connection. It's like, you know, when you have a gut feeling that somebody's going to call you or somebody's going to do something, it's that kind of feeling. They might take advantage of that. The fact that they know that you can read them so well, or that they can read you so well. It could be whichever way. I feel like you both read each other very well. Like I said, watch out for this person. Because when they have the chance, they're going to try. But it won't be until like much further in the future. This person could be very young as well. Maybe that's why. Maybe they just had to grow up. But you, pile 2, you don't want to wait for them to grow up. All right, let's get a card for the Page of Pentacles. I had to sit down for this one because I was getting annoyed with this. And I can tell you've been annoyed with this person too. They had their chance, didn't take advantage of it, but they want to keep coming back for whatever it is that you got to offer. And it's going to be more spiritually linked. If you, like I said, if you've been intimate with this person, the way your intimacy is, it lifts them up. It's very spiritual. You bring that, pile 2. You're the one who brings that, and they like that. They can't find that with anybody else. Okay. So, Page of Pentacles character, this is the Achilles character, the person who was putting up that front but is actually very different on the inside. Ace of Cups. You're at the very least going to have a good friendship with this person. I feel like even if it doesn't work out, like you might still be in each other's friend groups. You might still end up, you're just going to be good friends with them because you understand them and you know that they're sweet. You could end up being like each other's wingman in the future should it not work out. I feel like it can go either way, but they definitely had an interest in you at first, but it was a front they had to put up. Like, it was a mask they had to put up. So whether it worked out or not, they understand because they're aware of this. They're aware that they have insecurities. They won't always say it out loud. They won't always admit it, but you could be good friends with this person. And with this, with the Lou character. Maybe somebody is actually named Lou. I know that's a name. So take that if it resonates. Lou or Louie or something like that. I've only met older men with that name though. So if it is somebody within your age range, maybe you're also of that generation. Regardless, let's clarification. Ooh, the Magician. This person will take you places. Honestly, pile 2, you've got to be something incredible because each one of these people, regardless of what they are at their base, you offer them something and they got something to offer you. I feel like you just have good love karma, good relationship karma here. But with this person, you'll be able to manifest everything you've ever wanted. The Magi is the magician. The magician is the ultimate manifester. They're able to control all the elements at their will. They're able to create whatever it is that they want. Very magical, very magical aspects. In fact, like I said, you could go places with this person. You could start businesses. They could help you advance. They could even help you in your spiritual journey should they be that kind of person. I wasn't getting that as strongly, but they might. They might be open to that as well. Honestly, this is the longest lasting card that I've seen here. Because you could see the Magician is the culmination of like every single card in the tarot combined into one because they have everything at their disposal. So I really feel like you're going to end up going with this Lou character more than anything. These two other ones will remain friends. But set your boundaries with this one in particular, with this chaotic character, because, well, you know, and, that's all I'm going to say. What is this card? It popped up. Ooh, Sovereign of Cups. This is you, pile 2. You are the Queen of Cups. You have so much to offer within a relationship, and people can tell. You're very emotionally nurturing. You're very intuitive. You're very loving. Very loving. People know this. And if you yourself don't think you are, I promise you, you are, and you're just not seeing it, pile 2. You have so much to offer. So it's not surprising that you have so many options available to you. And that they all, in some way, shape, or form, still want to be your friend or be your, you know, have something to do with you. So let's go on to your closing advice. I'm going to get a card from the Oracle, or sorry, the Wisdom of Hafez. This is going to be for you, pile 2. We're done with their energies. Listen, number 45. I'm getting several things here. Really listen to what people are saying. When they tell you who they are, listen. But also listen to your guidance. A lot of you are very intuitive and you don't always listen to it. And that's no shade, that's no hate. I'm the same way. I will get guidance and I don't listen to it. So really listen, because there's something they got to tell you. It could even be anything that came out in this particular reading. Maybe really listen. If you have to go back and rewatch it, by all means, do so. That's not me trying to push anything on you. I feel like your guides are coming through to let you know you really have to listen. Listen to their advice. Listen to advice in general from every intuitive guide that you have, whether that's us here on YouTube, the tarot readers that you probably go to, or if it's anybody else, but you really have to work on listening. Okay, and then for the Sacred Self-Care cards, we have Sweet Treat. Yeah, there's a sweetness to you. You might enjoy baking, you might enjoy cooking, or just creating something. You like to give people sweetness, whether that's actual food or just, you know, your time, your energy, your kind words of advice. And drink tea. This is a reminder for you to stay hydrated. Stay hydrated because I'm also hearing you're going to get the tea on a lot of people. And maybe for some of you, tea is a very spiritual practice. Maybe you get your downloads when you have your cup of tea throughout the day. So there's definitely a very nurturing energy to you. People love this about you. You could be having guests over, because this is making me think that you provide a sweet treat with your tea. When you serve tea, you could be British, because I know tea is like a big thing over there. Or what's another culture? There's a lot of cultures that drink tea, I know. But this in particular made me think of Great British Bake Off, or whatever that show is. So yeah, but regardless, listen, my dear pile 2. I am sending you so much love, so much light. I really love all these energies for you. Remember, you are somebody so worthy of people's love and affections, even if it doesn't always attract the best ones. Just set your boundaries with them. But here's where I leave you. If any of this resonated, or if you would like to claim it, do so in the comments. And if you feel like doing so, you can like and subscribe. I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose this beautiful rose quartz chunk, then we have your reading here for you about your romantic options. And so far, all these readings have been so fun. I didn't realize that this would be so... I've never really done something like this, and maybe some of you haven't either. I feel like some of you are in an energy where you've never really had to have this many romantic options before. So we'll see what's going on with you. In fact, I'm going to start with your card, because I'm going to draw 3 cards for 3 particular people that you have potential with, or that are options for you. And then we have 1 card for you. So let's go ahead and start with that. Your soul shines, number 34. Oh, I love this. You're in a very beautiful energy right now, pile 3. I think this is part of the reason you have so many options, is because you're just good. You're flowing, you're vibing, your energy, your vibration levels are so high and so beautiful. Some of you may have had like a recent glow up of the soul, not physically, but of the soul. There's something about your soul shining and radiating. You could be going through something very transformative, or you may have just come out of something very transformative, and people are seeing the results and they're liking what they see. But let's go ahead and move on to your people. So we've got Zeus leadership. Oh, wow. Why did I hear daddy energy? Oh God. So whoever this person is, they're definitely in a position of leadership, but they're also somebody, they might have kids. They might already have kids. You're gonna have to be okay with that. But I am getting a very mature energy from this pile in general. So maybe you yourself are at that age, because I was kind of resonating with 34. Maybe you are 34 or older. So this wouldn't surprise you. Maybe you yourself also have kids. Regardless, this person very, very they take command of a room and control. They always have a plan. They know what to do. Their leadership skills show through in every aspect of their life. All right, third person, Prometheus, altruism. Oh, this person's very sweet. This person's very giving. They're very generous. They might be a little bit younger, or they could at least come off that way. But this person, they give me loner energy, but they're very sweet. They're very nice. And then the third person, Aries, war. This person, the aggressiveness that they have isn't coming off as bad, but they probably like to hit the gym. They probably like to have fun. I'm seeing hiking and like whitewater rafting. They like to go on adventures. This is somebody you have fun with. This is somebody who, yeah, that they like to use their physical body for sure. With war, they could be a little argumentative, but not in a bad way. They like banter. They like somebody who is up for a challenge, just like they are. All right, then to clarify these, we have the magic of Marvel. So with Zeus, Black Widow, look twice, sleep once. I'm not surprised. I get her a lot whenever I'm dealing with people who are very cautious about when they approach somebody, because especially if they have children, they really need to think about who they let into their life. This has come up in several piles before. But also, I'm seeing that they like something about your energy. They see you as very competent. This is the first time I'm really getting something from this particular person wanting to approach you in a very weird, not weird, in a very distinct way. I'll get back to this. Let me go ahead and lay the other cards out. Ooh, with Prometheus, we have Rogan Gambit, Let Love In. My gosh, you have some great romantic options here, pile 3. And then Aries, Ronan the Accuser, Let It All Burn. I don't know who this third person is. I feel like they just like to be chaotic. And every pile has had that one person who is just like, you know, a little crazy. I feel like we need to see a little crazy in order to know that we don't want the crazy or to just have fun, but that's about it. But yeah, let me tap into this. Honestly, pile 3, I feel like you're a little bit exhausted. I have to like take this to the side for a minute before I tap into these energies, because I can tell you're a little tired of dating. I can tell that maybe you're just tired of having to look around, and maybe at first glance some of these options don't look all that great to you, and I'll explain why. It's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. I just feel like for some of you, you really have to take your time when it comes to dating. Really look at your options and ask yourself whether you want this or not. Because I feel like some of you might just jump from relationship to relationship, and there's nothing wrong there. I mean, I've done that as well. This is just one person to another, one friend to another, letting you know that there's nothing wrong with that. So this sense of exhaustion that you have when it comes to relationships and or love, if you ever get that, take the time you need to heal yourself. Take the time you need for yourself. You don't have to date. You don't have to be in a relationship. You can let them know that, hey, right now is not the time, but I would like to see you in the future, should that be an option I have with you. Take that only if it resonates, like I said, pile 3. But let's start here with Zeus. Very interesting character. Like I said, this person definitely knows how to command a room, definitely knows what they want, and they really want you. But it took them some time before they realized that you would be a good option, not because there was anything wrong with you, but because they had to really get their own business straight, whether that's literal business or whether that's their family, whether that's their situation. I feel like this person has thought about you for a while. I feel like you may have known this person for a long time as well. Leadership does make me think that you could work for this person or have worked for this person. So maybe they had to wait until they were no longer your boss, or you had to leave that company or department, whatever it is, until they were no longer your boss so that they could approach you, because they definitely thought about it twice, but they were only going to leap once, if that makes sense. Some of you could have red hair, but I feel like the Black Widow character is actually you, pile 3, which is very interesting. The fact that you're coming out in all of these lets me know that you've considered these people as well, or that you're very, like I said, I feel like you're always in a relationship or feel the need to be in a relationship. Do take the time for yourself here. There's nothing wrong with that. With the Prometheus character, very interesting. Altruism lets me know that they're a very sweet person, very nice person. I feel like you may have the fact that this card came out, I kind of see this as the lovers with Let Love In. There's some hesitation there. In fact, Rogue and Gambit, I love them. They were my first ship, so they mean a lot to me. You definitely have a lot in common with this person. You may come from similar backgrounds, just like these two are very similar. They're both from the South. She's from Mississippi, he's from Louisiana. So maybe you and this person really bond on a very basic level, on a very emotional level. I feel like you have very sweet, deep talks with this person, and this person is very they care about people, they care about everybody, they're nice to everybody. This is that person that if they're nice to you, they're also nice to everybody. So it may have taken some time for you to realize that they were actually into you, when the truth is it's one of those people you didn't realize they were into you because you thought they were nice to everybody else. But something happens here, and we'll look into the Audacity deck to see exactly what it is that they wanted with you, because I feel like you and this person had a very similar bond, but there was some hesitation there. There's something that felt unattainable, even though there's very much already some form of love there. With this Aries person, I feel like this is just a date you accepted and you had a lot of fun with this person, but this person may have been too much for you. And why they're into you is because, honestly, I feel like you're just hot, pile 3. But I'm also getting that you kind of don't mind the challenge. So when this person shows up, you like to also rise to the challenge. I feel like there's a lot of witty banter here. You might both like to play fight. You might both like to tease each other. This is energy where they're like, honestly, this person really does have stuff they're going through, and they might take it out on, and not in a bad way. They might take it out at the gym. They might take it out in physical activity, should you have already done that with this person. I feel like that's up to you, because I'm getting very, very 18 plus messages here, and I'm not about to go into that. But if you know, you know. You may like that aggressive side of them. Let's just say that. But with Let It All Burn, it does let me know that they do have a lot of stuff that they themselves are going through, and there's something about you that really helps them either think clearly, see something in a different light. I feel like they really like your nurturing aspect. But let's go ahead and get cards from the Audacity deck to better see what it is that they want with you, or what their intentions are. So for our Zeus character here, yeah, they want something serious. They would like something serious. In fact, I'm hearing they need something serious because they don't like to just date around. They got too much going on for that. But this card cracks me up. I'm gonna censor it just in case. 2 of D's. Growing a pair, essentially. They had to grow a pair in order to approach you, because there's something intimidating about you, but they also like you, if that makes sense. It's like, honestly, I feel like these two in particular saw you as a challenge, and one of them went head first into it. The other one had to really consider it, because it's not their first rodeo. They have other things to consider. They have a business, they have their own family, they have their own goals in mind. The Zeus character really lets me know that they've probably dated around, because Zeus is kind of known for getting around in the Greek mythologies. So they've kind of been through it. And I'm not saying that, well, they might be jaded. They might be just as jaded as you are when it comes to relationships. So that could be part of the reason that you're both approaching each other very hesitantly, even though there's a lot of promise here. But they definitely had to grow a pair, or it's been a while since they felt the need to grow a pair when it comes to you, pile 3. You made them have to regrow their pair, essentially. So yeah, but I also feel like you have a lot of fun with this person. Something here about abundance is coming through. They might already have money, they might already have their bag, or they could just be focusing on that. Like, this person feels they can never have enough money. So I guess that's a good way to see it. Not because they spend a lot, but because they have a lot to think about, a lot to take care of. Like I said, their family is very important. Whether that's their own parents or their children, doesn't matter. They're probably financially responsible for somebody other than themselves. So take that if it resonates. Let's go on to Prometheus. I really like the energy this one's giving me. Very sweet. All right, so what would our Prometheus want here? The Hermit. This person keeps to themselves a lot. They're very, I'm not saying they're lonely, but they don't open up to just anybody. This person definitely makes me think that they are They don't open up to everybody. They're very nice, but they don't let a lot of people in. They're very friendly, but they may not have a lot of friends, if that makes any sense. So the fact that they have an interest in you is kind of a big deal to them, because they really, really like you, because you guys have something in common. This person could be a Virgo, because I am reading this a little bit like the tarot, the traditional tarot card. But in this particular deck, the Audacity deck, this is somebody who is like longing for connection. And I feel like you brought this out in them. And it's mostly due to have already spoken to you. You and this person already speak. You already get along. You already have a connection there. You bring something out in them that makes them want to be romantic. And then with the Aries person, Ronan the Accuser. I love that these two cards are so similar. They're even facing the same way. And they're both holding weapons. Maybe you both like to do some kind of sport together. Ooh, the dead-end job. You could have met him at a dead-end job. They are done. It's kind of weird that they're coming through as your option, because they're honestly kind of done. They could be looking for somebody to heal. They could be looking for to heal them, not to heal with. I feel like this one has a little bit of immature energy here. They could be at a dead-end job. They could also just kind of be done with a lot of things. That energy is coming through for everybody here. I feel like that energy is being mirrored. So I am getting a sense that this might be slightly older people, or you yourself could be older, or people who have just dated around a lot. Zeus in particular is giving me like somebody who's been married before. As is Aries, but Aries is not handling it well. Whoever this person is, I'm really curious to see how you and this person even met each other, because I feel like you wouldn't typically meet somebody like this, pile 3. It could be like, it could have been a one-night stand. It could have been something casual and non-committal, and you just kept them around for that. But honestly, this person just seems very volatile. Not that they would ever hurt you or anything. It's just like they're self-destructive. Yeah, they're destructive to themselves. Disruptive as well. There's a hard time seeing things here as well. Especially because Ronan the Accuser, he was, I want to say he was from Guardians. He was very... what's the word? He could only focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's getting the approved, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been so long since I've seen Guardians, and I told myself I was going to watch it again, and I still haven't. But this person, they have a one-track mind. One-track mind, that's all they can think about. So they may not always give you the attention because they're thinking about something else. It could be their finances, it could be career, it could be something else, whatever it is. This person, I feel like you have a history with this person, and it's mostly physical. And at one point it was a lot healthier than it is now. But now I honestly feel like this third person, the Aries person, it's time to cut them off, because they're not going to change, unfortunately. But these two other ones are really great. So we have the altruist here, very sweet energy, very loving. They're a little bit of a loner. They're not lonely, they're just a loner. They don't open up to everybody. Also, the eyes on this guy is just... They might have a very pretty face, very pretty gaze, and something about that, like, it's easy to fall for this person because they're very sweet, very nice. But the Zeus character, also very serious. Also, they got other stuff going on. With the eagle, it's making me think that freedom is something they think about a lot, maybe because they don't have it, or because they see the freedom that you have and they wish they had that as well. But they definitely find you very attractive. This person thinks about you as a person a lot. They think about the kind of person you are. They think about what you can offer. They think about the things you do. They have true admiration for you. As to where the altruist Prometheus person, they just like companionship. Honestly, I am getting a little bit of codependency from them, and this could be due to the fact that they don't have a lot of people. So take this as it resonates, but you and this person do bond on a deep level because you have certain similarities. But regardless, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot, because I'm very curious to see where these are all leading and what the options you have with them are. But like I said, I feel like you're not used to having so many options, and the fact that you have so many, it can be a little bit overwhelming. I am getting a little sense of overwhelm from you, pile 3. The fact that I'm talking to you a lot when in the past piles I wasn't really addressing their energies as much lets me know something's going on with you. You could be in a very new energy. You could be in a new environment as well. Oh. I've also been dropping the cards a lot today. That's okay. Okay, so for my pile 3, let's start with our Zeus character. We're going to be showing the energies that they bring and the energies you bring, and then I'm going to clarify it with a different deck. So Zeus character, yeah, they like you a lot. It's admiration as well. This is respect that they have for you. They see you as an equal. Okay, so 9 of Wands, defensiveness. I'm not seeing this as a bad thing because the energy you bring, what is this? King of Swords. Yeah, they respect you. They kind of have to, you keep them on their toes, essentially. You have to, you don't have to do anything. But you must bring something very inspirational to them, because when they see you, they like your intelligence. That's what that is. That respect, they see how you think, they see how you talk, and they really like it. They know you're no nonsense. They know that you're capable of handling anything. Honestly, they have admiration. This defensiveness that they have, honestly, they've never met anybody like you, and it makes them feel threatened, but just a little bit, in a good way. Like I said, you keep them on their toes. You have to, it's really weird. They're confused by you. They don't know what to do with you, but they know they like it because they know you're a good, they know you're a good investment. You leave them a little tongue-tied, and I don't think they're normally like that, pile 3. But let's move on to the Prometheus character. The Hangman. You changed their mind about them wanting to be single for the rest of their life. I feel like this person was confirmed to bachelorhood or bachelorettehood. Like, they were fine being alone, but then you came along and changed their mind. The Fool. You didn't mean to either. They like the fact that you're carefree. You could start off by having something very open with them. You could leave it non-committal, and they'd be okay with that. Because even though they're very sweet, I wasn't getting a lot of commitment, mostly because they might be afraid of it still. So if you do end up with this person, it's going to be a long game. It's going to be it's going to take some time. And then let's look at this Aries character, which is very interesting. I'm very curious about this one because I just don't see how you could get like such great options and this one shows up. It could be an ex, honestly. 9 of Pentacles. Finances are at the forefront for them. Gosh, I'm getting such 18 plus readings from this character. Honestly, if this is just something casual, that's fine, pile 3. But like, dang. Because I'm hearing that they know how to please you. And let's see. King of Cups. You wanted something more from them and they weren't able to offer it to you. But you're also always having to end up being therapist to them. And that kind of annoys you. It's like you don't mind it. In fact, it's so good. Whatever you got going on physically is so good you're willing to commit. But because they won't shape up to be exactly what it is that you need, whether it's within their finances, whether it's within their emotional immaturity that they refuse to own up to, whatever it is, there's something about them that they're just not there. It's very youthful energy too. So either they are like a grown person who refuses to grow up, or they could actually be young. Not sure what, but it's like they refuse to focus on you, so you have to constantly be their therapist, their mother, their parental figure here. I say mother because cups makes me think of mothering energy. But because we have kings instead of queen, you have to be in your masculine energy all the time with them. And there's nothing wrong with that, but when you're in it constantly, you have to be able to balance that out. This person shows themselves as masculine, but they're actually not. They're always in a very negative feminine energy that you have to show up for. And it's really exhausting. Even though, like I said, the chemistry is there, the physical compatibility is there, but it seems like that's all they're really good for. It seems like that's all you can ever really have with them. And it's unfortunate because you would really like more, and because they're not showing it to you, you see them as a dead-end job. But that's the card that was coming through for them, right? Yeah, you see them as a dead-end job, which is funny because every pile has had something similar. There's always been that one frustrating person who just refuses to see that there could be so much more, but they refuse to own up to it, so you have to let them go. This is the one that has to go first. But let's look at these other two. This Zeus character is so interesting because, like I said, you keep them on their toes. They like your mind. They like that you're smart. They like that you have your ish together, essentially, because you really do pile 3. They know you've been through it, and they've been through it too, so there is a hesitancy there. That's what I'm getting with the 9 of Wands. So I'm going to clarify that before I go any further, but they really like your mind. They really like something about you. They just think you're incredible, pile 3. And they may not even feel worthy enough, which is a little silly because I feel like They could also have a bit of an insecurity within them that they're not willing to admit themselves. And this could be something you have to see and or work out through. It's not going to be as bad as one other character, but this person, yeah, there's something I need to work on. They could be emotionally closed off, or their heart could be closed off as well from having been heartbroken one too many times. But I'm also seeing the heart in construction mode, so they could still be healing. Yeah, that makes sense because it looks, I think this is supposed to be a headband, but I'm also seeing that as a bandage. They could be healing from something. But then the middle character, which the fact that we have 2 major arcana lets me know that this is probably more likely what you're going to end up going with. Because like I said, you change their perspective and you come in with a very carefree attitude. I feel like yours is an energy they've been longing for in love and relationships, and it's hard to find, or they're just glad it came out in somebody like you. You're already friends with this person, I promise this. So I feel like this connection will end up being very, very carefree at first. You're probably going to leave it open. You're probably going to set boundaries and be like, okay, let's try this out for a few months and see where we go from there. It's giving me that energy. Because you're approaching this person very, very, not detached, but definitely in a very carefree way. You're going in this trying to have fun with this person because you really like them and they're very sweet. And there's something very, like I said, you both have a similar background. There's something there that connects you, whether it's your childhood or whether it's like, I feel like you both might have similar moon signs as well. So you're very comfortable with this person. So I feel like this is your most likely option that you will be going with. But let's go ahead and clarify these relationships, should you get into any. It's odd. I keep being drawn back to the Zeus character because you like the respect they give you. You like that they really, I guess it depends what you're looking for. If you want somebody to respect you and to treat you like this king or queen, depending on what you want to be treated as, it'll be this person, but it'll take some time because they are also working through something. But if you want something sweet, carefree, and romantic, go with this person. This person you need to cut out. At one point they were promising, because this Knight of Pentacles did want to come out reversed. I don't read reversals, but the way I'm reading this is that you had to really be the one who was always nurturing them. And I guess you could continue to do that if you want to, especially if the getting is that good. But like, do you always want that? But let's go on with the clarification. Ooh, 8 of Daggers, 8 of Swords. This person does not know how to approach you. It really takes somebody very unique, pile 3. This is you. You're so unique. Your energy is just so indescribable that you bring somebody like Zeus to their knees. They don't know how to approach you. In fact, it may take some time for this relationship to grow, if it ever does, because the 8 of Swords is letting me know that either they're not seeing something, they're afraid to approach you, or you're not seeing something and you're afraid to approach them. All right, let's go on to the second relationship. You might end up having a relationship with all 3, quite honestly. All right, so our Prometheus person, we have the Star. Oh, wow. I love this. This is hope. This is, again, that carefree attitude, that fun, that lightness, that sweetness. Also, Aquarius energy is very strong because the Hangman is Pisces, but the Fool is Uranian energy, and then the Star is Aquarius. So this person could be an Aquarius. I haven't really been bringing up too many signs in this reading, but Aquarius energy is strong with this middle person. It could be part of the reason they're very sweet. They also have a very detached way of looking at things, but they also have a hard time being romantic. Like, they're very sweet, very nice, but they're like that with everybody. So their romantic side might take some time to come out. And then with the Aries person, 2 of Daggers, just ghost them. If they can't get a clue, I know it's rude to ghost people, but I feel like this person could keep coming back. The 2 of Daggers lets me know cut off communication. It's a no. It's time to let it go. If you don't want to ghost them, just let them know what you're doing and say you're not going to respond anymore. Politely ghost them, I guess. It's time to let this person go. At one point, they were very promising, but you're emotionally drained from this. Only if you want to, of course. Only if you want to. But that's what I'm getting. What's interesting is back of the deck energy, we have the Pillar. This is Empress energy, and this is you, pile 3. Like I said, I haven't really been addressing the piles directly because I've been focusing more on their options, but you're the first pile that has really made me take notice of you. Again, you provide something so beautiful to all these people. And there will be somebody out there who definitely appreciates this and like is able to reciprocate it. And there's one who acknowledges it but is afraid of it because they're not sure what to do with this. And then the other one has taken advantage of this. They've had their chance. They couldn't get it through. So Yeah. But you're in a very beautiful transformative energy, pile 3. But let's move on to your advice cards. Oh, strength. Yeah. You've overcome your demons. You need people who have done so themselves as well. So we're going to get some advice cards from the Wisdom of Hafez deck. Something about perfect timing is coming here through. You're going to be one of the few people who ends up going out with all 3 of these at some point or another. As to where the other ones, they had their choices, and some of them they might not end up going with, and some they might. But you give everybody a chance. That could be part of the reason you're so drained as well. You might be tired of dating because you feel the need to give everybody a chance. Not everybody deserves that chance, pile 3. All right, let's get a card. We have Create Silence, number 39. Yeah, this is you creating that silence for yourself. Take the time, the rest you need. Take all the space you need for yourself. If you need to, some of you could be needing to sleep more with this moon, but I'm also getting that you could just benefit a lot from meditating, creating silence, taking the time for yourself. Really focus on your own inner energy. Replenish that energy. I feel like that middle person is the one who's going to give it to you the most, though, because they themselves also understand this. That Hermit energy came through very strongly. They understand what space is. They're going to respect you and the space you need, because they also need that space. And then from the Sacred Self-Care Oracles, I'm going to get 2 cards from here. Use your hands, number 53. So some of you have very gifted hands. You could be a masseuse. You could, whatever it is that you work with, you probably use your hands a lot, or you could just have very gifted hands. You could also read this in an 18+ way, of course. Take that only if it resonates. And okay, 2 more cards. Sing. Some of you might be singers, or you could really heal through listening to very inspiring songs. And 14, connect with your ancestors. It's funny because that one person in the middle was making me think of you two having similar backgrounds. You could have ancestors from the same areas. I'm not saying that you share ancestors. That's kind of weird unless it's so far back that it doesn't matter anymore. But like, there's something here about your ancestors trying to tell you something about these certain people, or trying to guide you to the right people. Really listen. If you listen to music, listen to the words they're saying, which is weird. I know we have create silence here, but also sing. What's coming through here? Some of you might channel, so really listen to the things you're channeling. If you have to record yourself while you channel, because the way I do it, I just start talking and I remove myself and allow a spirit to come through my head, my brain, my vocal cords, and that's how I do it. And honestly, when I'm channeling stuff for some of these readings, I don't remember. I don't remember half of the things. I have to go back and rewatch my videos to see exactly what it is I said, to make sure that I'm saying everything okay and that it comes out very clearly and concisely. But for some of you, it could benefit you to really watch what you're singing. You know how whenever you're in a mood to just sing a song and you just start randomly singing a certain song, listen to that, to the lyrics you are singing, because something about them, even if you sing them wrong, because I know we all do that, we sing what we think we hear. Listen to that and see why you're saying that over and over, especially if it's something that's stuck in your head and you keep singing that over and over. Listen to that. Something about that. That's the way your ancestors are going to come through. Also with your hands, watch what your hands are doing, watch what they're, like I do mudras whenever I'm recording these videos. I'm not aware I'm doing that. I'm not aware I'm doing these little things. I don't even know what they mean. I have to go back and look at that up. I know that this is like grounding and connecting to source or something like that, but I'm not familiar with mudras, but I know I do them. Be aware of what it is that you're doing with your hands when you're around certain people. Be aware of where your hands want to reach for when you're with certain people. And that'll give you an indication of what exactly it is. For example, if you and any of these people, if you're out and about, if you like accidentally brush each other's hands, notice that. Ask yourself, one, why that's happening, why you did that. If they're the ones doing it, don't be afraid to ask them. I feel like you would, pile 3. You look like you're somebody who holds people accountable for the things that they do. But yeah, very weird messages in this advice column, but I hope they make sense. But regardless, this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care.